Chapter 3, Form of Contract. Form of validity of contract. There are rare cases when the law requires that a contract be in a certain form for the validity of the contract. Donation of real property. It must be in a public instrument. Article 749. In order that the donation of an movable may be valid, it must be made in a public document, specifying therein the property donated and the value of the charges which the done must satisfy. The acceptance may be made in the same deed of donation or in a separate public document, but it shall not take effect unless it's done during the lifetime of the donor. Donation of real property. It is a legally recognized act of voluntarily transferring ownership over property by the owner to his intended recipient, who in turn accept the donated property. Donation of personal property, the value of which exceeds 5,000 pesos. Donation and acceptance must be in writing. Article 748. The donation of a movable may be made orally or in writing. An oral donation requires a simultaneous delivery of the thing or of the document representing the right donated. If the value of the personal property donated exceeds 5,000 pesos, the donation and the acceptance shall be made in writing. Otherwise, the donation shall be void. Sale of the land through an agent. The authority of the agent must be in writing, otherwise the sale of void. Article 1874. The Article 1874 of the Civil Code provides that the contract of agency must be written for the validity of the sale of a piece of land or any interest therein, otherwise the sale shall be void. When a sale of a piece of land or any interest therein is through an agent, the authority of the letter shall be in writing, otherwise the sale shall be void. Thus, you need to execute a special power of attorney authorizing your mother as your agent to sell your property, otherwise the sale will be void. Stipulation to pay interest. It must be in writing, otherwise no interest is due. Article 1956. An article providing for the suspension of payments, the relief of insolvent debtors, the protection of creditors, and the punishment of the fraudulent debtors. 5. Contract of partnership. If immovable are contributed, it must be in a public instrument to which shall be attached a signed inventory of the immovable property contributed. Article 1171, 17733. Article 1171. A partnership may be constituted in any form except where immovable property or real rights are contributed thereto, in which case a public instrument shall be necessary. Article 1773. A contract of partnership is void wherever immovable property is contributed thereto, if inventory of said property is not made, signed by the parties, and attached to the public instrument. Contract partnership is a document that establishes the terms of the partnership and agreement between partners. People can form a verbally binding contract just by forming an agreement in a business discussion. Form of enforceability of a contract. In the cases of the contracts by the statute of frauds, the law requires that they be in writing, subscribed by the party charged or by his agent. Article 1403. If the contract is not in writing, the contract is valid, assuming all the essential elements are present, but it cannot be proved and therefore it cannot be enforced unless it is ratified. Article 1405. Form of enforceability contract is one for which a legal remedy is offered in the event that the contract is not fulfilled. For example, an oral contract to buy a land would not enforceable, but the statute of frauds requires such an agreement to be in writing.